All right, time to talk about the non-negotiables. So things I've gone over like in the past, like community, nutrition, training, recovery, mobility, mindfulness. Pretty much those are like non-negotiables, meaning you have to get this shit done. You think of like this, like think of like work. You don't skip work because hey, look, I need the money because I got like bills like to pay. Like I got to afford to be able to have a roof over my head. I got to be able to pay like for food, for water, for like oh, I got a car payment so I can get to and from work. Okay, well that includes the car insurance. As my cat comes to join us. Yep, he's coming to remind us to get the stuff done, aren't you? Yeah, no, you're just looking for attention, huh? Anyway, good old cat coach right here. So going to work is pretty much like a non-negotiable because hey, look, I need the money to be able to afford things. Like I said, like okay, I need a car to get to and from work. I need to have a roof over my head. I need to be able to get food and water and like okay, well I need to, like a cell phone because so that way I can like call if I do need to call out at work like on the rare occasion or whatever. Okay, well I also need internet and everything, so that way I can like quite possibly do research for my job. And of course, a lot of times like jobs have like computer-based learning and everything. So okay, well I need to like, be able to access like the internet to be able to do that and everything. So cell phone, internet, and stuff like that, and pretty much gets into the concept of like the non-negotiable for work because hey, look, I need money to be able to do that stuff and everything. By like getting into like treating these as like non-negotiable. Yeah, you're so attention needy. Yes, I know. Star of the show. You know when I'm making videos. The stuff I mentioned, community, nutrition, training, mindfulness, recovery, all that's like pretty much like non-negotiable. So like what you got to look at it as like a time management concept. So now we all have 24 hours in a day, and of course some people are going to argue like, well, not everyone has the same 24 hours because well, I got kids and everything. It's like, yeah, you got the same 24 hours. Like so if you're going to use your kids as an excuse to not take care of yourself, there's one of the big excuses that like people use to basically trash themselves. So like another big excuse is like, well, I don't have the time. Well, here comes like time management. You make these things non-negotiable. It's not that you don't have the time. It's you're not prioritizing yourself for not only yourself but the people around you. So going down the list and everything, the community. Now everyone, like I use the like Friday, like the happy hour analogy for your community. It's Friday night. You're going to happy hour. You're surrounding yourself physically with like shitty people, or it's like Friday, like you're going to the gym and surrounding yourself with better people that are actually there trying to improve themselves instead of getting completely shit-faced and completely stupid and everything. So that's the concept of community. And of course, community also is in regard to like the good old retail here with this phone and everything, digital and everything. So like same kind of concept. Like, are you getting into shitty content? Are you watching like people just basically stuff their face doing those like what are called mukbangs, like just stuffing their face full of like thousands of calories and acting completely stupid? Or are you getting into digital content that is like education? Like, oh hey, look, I'm like I need to learn about fitness and nutrition and everything, so I'm going to use YouTube to start learning about that stuff. So that's where community comes in. So like time management wise, maybe like when you're on like lunch or whatever, you're catching up on like a podcast, or like you listen to a podcast while you're eating lunch, or like your 10-15 minute breaks. Same kind of concept and everything. You're catching up on like videos that can improve yourself and everything. Now nutrition, you look at it like there's a lot of like garbage out there, like the ding dongs, donuts, and like Twinkies and stuff like that. There really is no nutritional value in them. You think so? Yeah, you gonna tell them that like yeah, no more garbage. So again, like it gets into like the educational process. Like, oh yeah, the concept of like when you go into the grocery store, shopping around the outside of the grocery store, looking like for instance, there's one store in my area called Market 32. As soon as you walk in, yes, you have a Starbucks right there on the floor right there, but as soon as you walk in, the produce section is right in front of you. So you can get your fruits and veggies, and then you make your way in the back. You got the bakery, so you can get some bread and stuff, and then you make your way around. You got seafood, you got the meat department, and then you go further down. You then hit the dairy, where you can get like milk and eggs and like yogurt and stuff like that. And then boom, you're on the outskirts, and then you get into like the kind of like the pharmacy, and where like you can also get like supplements like multivitamins, like actual like individual micronutrients like iron, like potassium, vitamin C, stuff like that. So you can hit that up and get like supplements that you're going to need to kind of like supplement your nutritional approach. And of course, like they also got like some protein powder, and then boom, you're right into checkout and everything. So that's the concept of like eating healthy, shopping on the outskirts of the store, because a lot of like your garbage is right in the center sections of them. And so now, of course, you might like coffee, like you might like quickly go in like in that coffee aisle, grab some of the coffee that you use. And I'm going to say cut out the like cream and sugar and stuff, because that's going to like lead to kind of like extra calories that you're not necessarily going to need. And it might take you a week or two, because it took me about a week to get used to drinking black coffee and everything. Of course, you can also like if you're not a coffee drinker, you can pick up tea. Yeah, yes, go get your brother. So there are some stuff in there. I mean, you could probably like use like protein bars and stuff like that. So that's a better snack than like you could if like you're just like grab Twinkies. So like there, it's not all bad, but you, as like an overall general rule, you're going to want to stay away from the center sections, because like chances are you're going to be tempted, like, oh hey, look, there's a new flavor, like donut holes and everything. Oh, let me try that and everything. So that's why you want to stay away from the center section when it comes to nutrition. Now training, you've got time to do training. So like 8 hours a night for sleep, 8 hours of work, that still leaves you 8 hours. And like I said, the excuse on, well, I don't have time. Well, you get done like the typical 9 to 5 job. Okay, you like it takes you half an hour to get ready for work, and then a half hour to get to work. So there's an hour. So like you wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning to rush around, get ready, and then off to work and everything. And you're like in bed at like what, 11 o'clock or whatever. So like between 5 and 11. So you still got that good 8 hours outside of work and sleeping to get things done. Now, when people like use that common excuse of like, oh, I don't have time, well, take a step back and do a time audit. Look at like, oh, look, I get done at 5, it takes me half an hour to get home. Okay, and then of course I don't do any like any food prep or whatever. So like this is where like Saturdays come in. Like you do your grocery shopping like after you hit the gym and everything on Friday, so that way you have all your food ready to cook on Saturday. You do all your cooking, you prep all your food, so that way you're less, again, getting back into like being tempted by garbage food. You have all your food ready, so you can just grab and go. You prep it for the week as well, so helps keep your nutrition in check. So getting back to like, okay, you get done at 5, it takes you half hour to get to work. You spend half an hour figuring like, oh, what do I want for dinner? Well, hey, look, you've already prepped your food, so you just pull it out and reheat it and like sit it in the microwave. Boom, there you go, dinner. So you save time. And of course, and then you spend half an hour cooking it, and then half an hour eating. So it's already like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then like you spend the next 4 hours just mindlessly scrolling on this good old phone and everything, on like a good old Netflix and chill, instead of watching say 2 episodes of like the TV show Supernatural or whatever. You get in your workout and then you watch one episode. So you're still like you use it kind of like a Pavlov response, like, oh hey, look, this is my reward. I got my workout in after an hour. Now I get to watch my Supernatural show, instead of like, oh well, I'm just gonna do nothing and watch it until I go to bed and everything. So instead of spending like 3 hours just sitting there mindlessly scrolling through the, social media and doing the good old Netflix and chill after you had to cook dinner, eat it, and do all this, and like, instead of having food prepped already, you can use an hour to kind of get home or ship to the gym, and then go home and have dinner already. So it's a matter of prioritizing these non-negotiables and everything. And same thing goes like with sleep. You want to make sure you're getting like a consistent sleep basis. Like I mean, I slept in today, like, as of this recording, to 4:30, but I'm usually up at like 4 o'clock, because that's my schedule's been working lately. And so I've been going to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So that's what you need to do. Like, okay, well, I have work at this time. I need to get to bed at this time so I can get up enough time, with enough time to get ready and get to work. So it's getting down to time management. That's pretty much why you want to treat this stuff as non-negotiable. So recovery also, not only covers sleep, but also like spacing out your workouts. So like, for instance, like today, if like you were going to do go in and lift heavy, with doing a leg workout, you wouldn't necessarily go in and do the same thing tomorrow, because your legs are probably going to be like completely sore, and you're kind of like have the old adage that you see videos of people like day after leg day where they can't walk and everything. You wouldn't necessarily do workouts like that back to back. You'd space them out so that way it gives your muscles enough time to recover. And like it also covers hydration. Instead of sucking down garbage like sodas and stuff, water. And of course then, yeah, getting the concept of like drinking like a non-calorie, a zero-calorie, non-water drink, like black coffee or tea, kind of as like keep things kind of interesting with your hydration. Mobility can count as training. So like, for instance, you can go in and maybe do like a heavy lifting session for your upper body. The second day you do like a heavy session for your legs. Your third day is a recovery day, but as training you do like yoga. And so you're still getting training in, and that way you can, in a sense, get your mobility in too. And of course, mindfulness covers your mental health and everything. So getting professional help if you need it, doing things like meditation and journaling that you can do on your own and everything. So like meditation is basically free. You can like get on here on YouTube and follow like a guided meditation. Journaling, you go down to like Walmart or Target, you spend like $10 on a journal or like a notepad, and then you spend like another like $10 on like a mechanical pencil and the graphite and everything to be able to write, and get some like extra erasers or something. So $20, you got like a 240-page notebook that you can sit there and journal for most of the year. There you go. And then like the thing that ties it all together is consistency. As I like to say, it's great and fine and dandy if you do that, like all this stuff that I just mentioned, for 2 weeks, but it doesn't do you jack shit if you take 3 months off and everything. So that's why you got to treat this stuff as like non-negotiable, like you do your job and everything. So this is pretty much like a showcase. Hey, look, it's not a matter of like, oh, I don't have time, or like I've got kids, or like I do this or do that. Like, if I've worked 12-hour shifts before, and like I've still gotten stuff in. So now if you do find yourself working 13, 14 hours a day, what you might want to do is like, okay, well, I can't necessarily devote a whole hour to the gym because I'm at work for most of the day, and then of course I still have to get in sleep. All right, you get yourself a resistance band, and you can just like step on it, do overhand presses. You can sit there, do external rotations with it. You can tie it off somewhere. You can tie it off. You can do like in a sense like horizontal rows. You can also like turn around and stand and do like a presses with the resistance band. You can take your feet and step on it on the floor and do like pretty much like a resistance band squat. So you could use something like that while at work. In a sense, I mean, you might feel like, oh, I look kind of stupid and everything, but like you sit there like every time, like you might work in a factory, so like every time like you might work on a machine where like you're walking back and forth. So like you check one end, and you can walk down and check the other. You keep like you bring your resistance band with you, or you keep it in like one side, so that way like every time you go down to one side after done checking stuff and everything, you sit there and you do maybe like 5 resistance band rows, and next time you walk down you do like 5 presses, and you set it up so you can do like 5 overhand presses. So you set it up so that way you're getting at least something done while you're at work and everything for training. So if you're in the case where like you're working 13, 14 hours a day, you can still get something out. You can still get something done, but you're not necessarily going like look like maybe like Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger stepping on the Mr. Olympia stage. But that's at least better than nothing. And if you have the chance to, like I said, do like a food prep and then cooking all in like one day, you have your nutrition in check. So this is a concept of like, hey, look, you can do it. You just need to treat this stuff as like non-negotiable, and then have better time management skills. So just like a job, all the stuff I just mentioned are non-negotiable, and you pretty much need to get the shit done on like a daily basis, like I do. or like not only me but other people as well. So look at people that are actually getting stuff done. Be like, hey, look, how do they get stuff done? Let me emulate and let me like pretty much copy and paste on what they're doing. Therefore, that way I can have success just like them as well.